Sonic Adventure is one of gaming's great masterpieces. Although the game is almost 20 years old, every aspect of its narrative, aesthetic, and design serve to create an interactive experience that leaves my jaw on the floor every time I contemplate it. Sonic Team and Sega truly created a masterful work of art that rightfully cements the Dreamcast as one of the greatest pieces of gaming hardware ever created. Let's dive in. Released for the Sega Dreamcast in 1998 in Japan, and 1999 everywhere else, Sonic Adventure is a child-rearing simulator. You choose your fursuit flavor and raise creatures called Chao. They look like little blue babies and are extremely cute. There are eggs placed all over the place, and you take them back to one of the 3 gardens, shake that motherfucker, and make a baby. Chao come out. You feed the Chao the flesh of cute little animals to genetically engineer them to whatever purpose you have. You can even breed the little Chao and control entire ancestries of the little bastards. When they are big and strong enough, you pit them against each other in thrilling races.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go. Going through at the surface of mystery. Standing on my feet, so high when I'm trying to be me. Whoa, deja vu.
These simple steps are fulfilling and thoroughly fleshed out in order to remain satisfying for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. You'll notice that I avoided discussing where you collected the Chao food from. Sega insisted that Takashi Iizuka, the game's director, include 3D gameplay similar to the older Sonic games in order to boost sales. Regrettably, Iizuka caved, and with Quentin Tarantino's script, full development on Sonic Adventure's animal collecting side game began. The poor bastard who actually bought a meme cast and decided to play this game is presented with a character select screen with a single option, the spiky dykey himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. Starting the game, the scene is set by a beautifully animated cutscene and a thrilling boss fight against a puddle, as the frightened police nearby have no idea what they should be shooting at. After the fight, we see Dr. Robotnik scheming up on a rooftop. Sonic is chilling, relaxing all cool, when Tails crashes his plane on the beach. Sonic runs through a sandy paradise, and we are formally introduced to the flawless camera and completely functional and breathtaking set pieces. Sonic reunites with Tails and they head over to Tails' workshop. Robotnik shows up and Sonic owns his ass in another thrilling boss fight. And then Robotnik shows off what happens when you shove your rocks in the water monster from earlier. It gets bigger and tougher. So Sonic and Tails begin to hunt down the Dragon Balls so that Robotnik can't feed them to his little pet Chaos. The dynamic duo play in a tornado in a pretty fun level that's a lot better than the beach, and then they hit up the obligatory Sonic Casino level. This one's not too bad either, although if you're bad at the pinball, you'll end up running through the mini level way more than anyone could possibly deem acceptable. After delivering the massive rings to the casino's claw machine, Robotnik sprays his hot gas in these children's faces in order to get 2 more Dragon Balls. Then they snowboard or something? It's a platformer, there has to be a snow level, alright? Then plot! Trust me, it's absolutely interesting. Sonic and whoever the fuck meet up with Knuckles the Echidna, the only good character in this miserable shit stain of a franchise. Due to what may be the most creative and versatile trope in all of fiction writing, the characters fail to communicate, and artificial conflict is generated. Robotnik is able to steal the other Chaos Emerald that Dumb and Dumber collected and feed it to Hydro Man, and turn him into some shark thing with balls. Never seen a Waterman swim, but I guess I'll allow it. For a boss fight that is so fun, you'll be sad that you only get to play it 3 times. After a plane minigame that is so fun, you'll be sad that you only get to play it 4 times. Sonic and whatever his name is are separated, and we enter the heartwarming Hedgehog amusement park romance can't be this cute saga. Pink Sonic asks Sonic to quit saving the world in an attempt to make him become the personal bodyguard of a fucking bird. And after being waterboarded with unwanted attention, Sonic reluctantly agrees. They then flee into a nearby theme park entrance because of some big robot fuck who wants to kill the bird or something. And to get to the actual theme park, Sonic must ride a bumper car through space? And then a roller coaster that has like rockets on it? Many other hazards abound. There are surely some building codes or regulation that these attractions are in violation of. After Pink Sonic is kidnapped by one of those Eggman's robots, Blue Sonic is required by law to retrieve her or risk losing his ownership of his property. Sonic takes a bump of speed and heads over to Fast Highway in a legit, for real, fun and good level with plenty of fast and highway. Look, he runs down a building! Look how fast that is! Extraordinary. After seeing Mr. Robot, no, not that one, also not that one, taking Amy back to the Mystic Ruins, Sonic gives chase and just so happens to end up in a canyon of erupting mountains. Station Square residents are required by law to have volcano insurance, for some reason. After ziplining through immensely hot air and jumping down an immensely hot hole, Tails comes to save the day with a new plane fresh out of the Chinese factory that is, only a short few minutes later, damaged irreparably by a big laser cannon on the egg carton. Sonic and Fox Sonic are forced to make a crash landing and enter the Skydeck and get shot at for 3 minutes as the egg carton seemingly destroys numerous essential components for maintaining flight and battle capability. Sonic and Tail fight a Mr. Robot. Yes, that one, but no, not that one. And then everyone sort of goes off in their own directions. Sonic goes to fight Eggman and fights Chris 6, the biggest and fattest, most tailed of any Chris yet. After icing the son of a bitch, Sonic chases Eggman to the jungle, and after recuperating from a near-fatal fall with time, love, and the wonders of modern medicine, he enters an ancient temple. Turns out the native pre-station Squarians discovered such magical wonders as Stone Snake Monster, and Fire, Ball, and anti-gravity technology. After realizing the temple was a waste of his time because he knows less than jack shit about archaeology or anthropology, and also he's a fucking hedgehog, he goes to the fucking gargantuan Robotnik base a mere trot from the temple. In full view of the temple even. After insert attempt at humorous level description here, Sonic and Egg Sonic finally come head to head for the first time. I like the Robotnik suicide bomb attack. Very classy, you fat degenerate animal hating fuck. And that is the side plot of Sonic Adventure in its entirety. I have glossed over nothing, or spared a single detail. Oh wait. Fuck. There are 5 other characters to play as? Really? Tails races Sonic through abridged versions of Sonic's levels, except for the last, where he races Eggman to a big fucking nuclear bomb. He is with Sonic for most of the plot, but when he is not, he struggles with low self-confidence and feeling like he is unable to step out of Sonic's blue shadow and be his own person. He's like 8. He also has a sandboarding minigame. Not sure if that's a thing people actually do. They probably should be doing it regardless. But who gives a fuck about that? Now Knuckles guards the Master Emerald on Angel Island, all alone, because he is the last of his race. I haven't really touched on the echidna flashbacks that every character randomly has in their story, because who gives a fuck about that? They slightly explain some of the backstory of the Mystic Ruins and Chris the Water Boy, but in such a roundabout, confusing, for no reason way that it's kind of hard to care. After all that shit happened, I guess the mystical warrior echidnas all but died out, and now only Knuckles is left? Eggman shows up and frees chaos by shattering the Big Gem, and Knuckles spends his storyline collecting the pieces in various locations. His gameplay revolves around open levels and a hot and cold style radar that tells you how close you are to one of the 3 pieces in the level. Nothing happens in the story besides that, haha, Knuckles is a gullible dumbass, why is his tail crooked? But who gives a fuck about a big red tail? Now, my friends, we are really into the shit. The witch's brew of poo-poo. Amy's story is somehow too long, but also nothing happens. She befriends a bird and then a robot chases her for half an hour, and then she fights the robot and the bird is reunited with its family that it has a picture of in a locket around its neck. Traditional bird paraphernalia. The levels are these overly long half Amy moves too slow and I'm bored platforming, and half these puzzles are dog shit fusterclucks. She humanizes Gamma too, I guess. But who gives a fuck about robots having free will? Big the Cat is a big cat with a weight problem, a fishing pole, and whose only friend is a frog who doesn't understand not to eat emeralds that weigh more than its body. In what was surely an ad for Sega Bass Pro Fishing, Big fishes fish, and frogs, in all of his levels. And if you know what you're doing, they're so piss easy as to be a total waste of time. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you will waste even more time fucking about and never beating the levels and getting game overs by losing life by breaking fucking fishing lines. Lovely. But who gives a fuck about cats going fishing? Okay, I guess that's a little clever. 10 out of 10. Best game, baby! E101 Gamma is a custom Roboy who is pitted against his Ro brothers in Ro battles by their dad, Robotnik. After he kidnaps Big's frog and brings him back to the egg carton, his Ro brothers are all reprogrammed and sent to different corners of the world, and by that I mean different levels that you have already seen with the other characters. After the aforementioned Pink Sonic humanization, Gamma decides to rebel against his creator and free all of his brothers by murdering them. Then he does. Then he dies. And only in death can he be free as well. I'm not crying. I'm not, okay? Also, Amy's bird family were trapped in Beta and Gamma. But who gives a fuck about bird love? Birds are weird. But after all of this, Chris is still alive. All is not well. He attacks Robotnik and collects all of the Chris emeralds and turns into Perfect Chris, flooding Station Square and generally being a big moist prick. Since he is so vile and prickish, he only absorbs the fucking negative energy of the Chris Emeralds, and therefore Blue Sonic is able to harness the HIV positive energy of the Chris Emeralds and turn into Super Saiyan positive Super Sonic. Defeat Chaos 7 twice, and you, the player, have finally managed to complete the entire side story. Wow. All's well that ends well, right? Who gives a fuck about the massive death toll in the still flooded city, right?